So what's the excitement level from a coach when you get to see players get to do this kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, it's weather. Going to Augusta National. It's getting close to our postseason, so this is what we worked all year for, and for them to have this experience the week before we really get started as a team, is just kind of the cherry on top of the sundae. But it's the pinnacle for amateur women's golf, and for us to have 3 young ladies in there, Aggies in there. I know Haley just graduated. That's pretty wild that's happened in 2.5 years.
What does it mean for you to be on the bag out there?
It means I better get in shape. No, it's it's just an honor to be able to spend time with Jenny as a 5th-year senior, to do that and create some memories with her. I've had the pleasure of doing it for a couple of my players at Houston, so familiar with both places. But just it's just a different smile on their face that week. So just going to cherish those memories with her and see how I can help.
I know you said you did it at Houston, but any tips from Corton doing it with Sam last year? Now you going?
Crazy enough, I actually, everybody's been hating for saying this. My wife and I got to play there 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I was actually, we had some local caddies, so I was really picking their brain. And I had a really good one. One of the guys that was in our group, his dad caddied for Gabe Brewer when he won the Masters. So, got a lot of local knowledge from them, and just. BK, we'll talk about it. They're playing a little different golf course than the young ladies will, but and it just we'll talk about the memories when we get back more than anything. But lucky to have a little more local knowledge from a kid from Texas.
What's going out there for someone who's never been? What's the undulation, the elevation change? How drastic is it?
That's the big thing. You don't really get perspective. We just played at Clemson, where you had some holes that were 15 yards down, 12 yards up, and here you might get 1 or 2. We scheduled Clemson for a purpose. But you really can't recreate it. That's the biggest thing. You got to get comfortable with the up and down, the speed. You're not really hitting a ball off a flat lie. So that's just the thing, getting comfortable and getting over the awe of everything. So for, Jenny and Kata, this is not a first for them. So you kind of have that going for you. They'll be ready to come in and just compete. But you really, as I said, you just really can't recreate it.
Do you have a favorite hole on the main course, or one that is the bane of your existence?
Amen Corner is Amen Corner for a reason. The crazy thing, I think now in today's world, you're almost getting to see 1 through 18. When I was growing up, that's really when coverage picked up, was really on the back 9. But I think the front 9 actually plays way harder than the back. So as you're watching the Masters or watching, the ANWA, those that get off to a good start can really get one going. 1's a hard hole. 3's a little short hard hole. 4's a hard. 5 is probably one of the hardest holes on the golf course. So, and when you're playing on those conditions, they're all hard. But I don't think the front 9 gets as much respect as it should.
What does it say about this program to have not only multiple girls going, but consecutive years as well?
It's. I didn't want to kind of get into that in the first thing, but it's just it's crazy where these young ladies have taken us. And this wasn't even on the radar 3 years ago. The schedule that we're playing is not even on the radar. The championships, the runs that we've had in postseason wasn't even. It was a thought. It was something we talked about, but they're the ones that did all the work. So, this is hopefully a byproduct of that for them to have this honor. But it's crazy, and I think Adela's actually really close. I think Adela could get an invite next year, and you would probably think Kata's going to be in it until she turns professional. So, the fact that we have a ton of representation there is it's amazing to me.
I know you say it's your players that do the work, but how helpful is that for you on the recruiting trail to be able to sell, hey, we build our schedule around this because we expect to have people here that are going to be participating? For
sure. It's it might get lost if we had one player there. But when you have, especially when you call Haley just recently graduated, when you have 3 players there, that's a statement. 1 might be something different, but 3 just says a lot. Sam fresh off his finish. If we keep flying a flag there, that's a pretty cool deal. So, I think Stanford probably has still a lot there, but for us to have 3, just BK and I joke about this being a golf school, it kind of just really furthers that statement.
Do you like the timing of the tournament being in the middle of the season, just because maybe yes, maybe no, but just that they're in mid-season form and it feels like they are getting to play at a bunch of different courses?
for them, it's great. For us, it's very hard because literally right now, I'm trying to figure out that part of our schedule for next year. And it's always going to be your best players, and you want them to be freshest for postseason. And it really takes up almost 2 weeks out of the biggest part of your schedule. So we're trying to figure out regular season events around that. You're getting closer to finals, so it's at a tough time for us, but it's the best time for Augusta National. So Augusta National is probably always going to win that. But it's if you tell me we're going to have 2 or 3 kids every year, I'll make it work there. So, they're on a high that whole week. So we just got to get them rested on the other side of that for SECs.
I'm sorry. I know this tournament is relatively new, but what can you speak to how much, I guess, just for the game itself and the opportunities for these girls to be able to, have, especially what it's become?
For sure. There's tons of history with Augusta National, but now you got female members. That wasn't even heard of years ago, and I think you're going to start to see more. Chairman Ridley has really opened up the club, and I think you're going to see more of that. But I've been fortunate enough with my wife's career to see a lot of really, really cool women's sporting events. And this one, I don't know if you can really beat this one. The first couple of years I went with my Houston young ladies, I got to go to the dinners with them and all that stuff. And they're treated like no other. It's better than any professional sporting event I've been to. So that experience for them, now with no professional tournament there, could be one of the highlights of their careers.
Lastly, for me, what's it been like? Kind of, obviously we know Kata was there last year. What's it been like being able to work with her every day compared to your knowledge of her and kind of at that point y'all were still, she was a signee, but I guess just having that up close look at working with her. For sure,
it's crazy enough. Still, as a world class player, she would tell you there's still a lot of things that she can work on. Week in, week out, she's seeing some of the best in the world too. Ingrid, the number 1 player in the world, is from LSU, and they've battled a lot this semester. So I think we've maybe seen some areas in her game that she can get better. That will always be a process for her. But just her bar is way high. So when she walks in the door, we got to meet that every day. And that's not a knock against the other young ladies. Everybody has things they can work on. But for us to maybe find a half a stroke or a stroke for her might be monumental, where maybe we can get a stroke or 2 off the young ladies in a year. But just the world-class golfer. So hopefully we get to do that for 3 more years with her.
A little out of left field, but while we have you, first impressions of Trev Alberts, if you've gotten to talk to him or just researched him.
We had it was right before we left for, maybe it was Clemson, our last event. We had a head coaches meeting for an hour. And very impressive. I think he's a blue collar mentality, a worker. Flat out told us that he does. I don't play golf. I don't fish. I don't hunt. I really don't have a ton of hobbies. I'm very close with my family and my faith. Outside of that, I love to work. So I think it's what college athletics is becoming and what is coming down the pipe. I think we'll have a great leader to help guide us through those times and maybe be more proactive than reactive to some things with the knowledge that he shared with us in that head coaches meeting. But I think everybody was really impressed. In that meeting, you had Schloss and Tony, who was on the committee, and the feedback that everybody gave him, I think he shows that there's still work to do here. And so we just want to be a part of that. And I know we'll get to see him more. I think he's already been around at sporting events. I think I saw him at the selection shows, and that was amazing. And as a head coach, that's all you want, is just for him to be there and care.
Favorite food at Augusta?
Oh, my gosh. So when I got to go just recently, the fried chicken, the girls would say I order the same thing at Chick-fil-A or Texas Roadhouse, where we go. But that's a special place, and I literally ordered the first night, and I think I ordered it every other night that I got there. And fried chicken from being in southern Oklahoma is a big deal, but I've never had fried chicken like theirs. And so everything is just so first class there. It's amazing what they do just for 1 week of the year. The structure that they do, the things that they do when the golf course is closed down just for 1 week of the year. And everything that you read about it is true. You won't find a weed. You won't find a piece of trash. They actually have underground tunnels that they bring up stuff through for merchandise and for concessions. It's just, the place is wild. But I'll have just as big a smile on my face as they will when we get there. But I'd probably say that.